Hi, Sean again. I'm here on my ab coaster, and today I'm going to talk to you about some do's and don'ts when using your ab coaster. The first thing I want to talk to you about is your grip on the handles of the ab coaster. Sometimes when you're first starting to use the machine, you have a tendency where you want to grip really tightly, but you don't want to do that. You want to have a nice loose grip on the ab coaster. And the best way to facilitate that is by picturing yourself driving your elbows down onto the elbow pads. So if you put downward pressure here, it will loosen your grip at the top. And the reason we do that is because you want to make sure that you maintain a proper body position when you're using your ab coaster. So what you don't want to do is get on, grip really tightly, and lean your upper body into the ab coaster. When you do that, your shoulders are hunched up, you can cause some neck discomfort, and more importantly, you're not going to get a proper range of motion, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But if I have my body in this position where I'm leaned up against the machine, when I come up, I can't really get a full range of motion when doing my repetitions on the ab coaster. So again, what you want to do is drive your elbows down into the pad and keep a nice loose grip on the handles. And you can see when I do that, by driving my elbows down, it naturally moves my upper body away from the ab coaster. And that's where I want to be. I want to have about 6 to 8 inches of clearance from my torso and the front of the ab coaster. And also what that does is it keeps my upper body straight. And that's what I want. I always want my upper body straight and stable when I'm doing the ab coaster. So that's point number one. Point number two, when you're doing your repetitions on the ab coaster, sometimes we see folks, they move their upper body like this. And you don't want to do that because you're not going to get the most effective workout by doing that. A big component of the ab coaster workout is in stabilizing your core muscles. So what we do, again, we drive our elbows down, keep a nice loose grip, and then we stabilize our upper body, meaning we don't move our upper body during the repetitions. So it looks like this. My upper body stays nice and still and stable. I have a loose grip here, as you can see by my fingers moving, and I get a full range of motion. Next, I want to talk to you about the speed of the repetitions that you're doing. Another common mistake that we'll see is people want to just rock back and forth really fast. And this isn't unique to the ab coaster. You see it with all types of exercise. People like to get through the exercises quickly. What we recommend on the ab coaster is a nice, slow, controlled repetition. So what we like to see is generally take about 2 to 3 seconds on the way up, get a nice pause, and then about 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. This way we take all the momentum out and we're getting a more effective workout on our ab coaster. And that feeds right into my last point today, which is the range of motion that you should use when doing your ab coaster repetitions. The simple tip I give folks is always try to keep your knees in front of your hips. When you go back beyond that, your entire core relaxes. And during the repetition, if you let your knees go fast and beyond your hips, you start to use a lot of momentum, and that doesn't give you the most effective workout. So we want slow and controlled and a nice tight range of motion. So again, my knee always stays in front of my hip. I come up nice and slow, pause at the top. When I come down, I let my knee stay in front of my hip, pause, and then come back up. Okay, so we try to add that pause in there and nice tight range of motion to keep an effective, constant contraction of your core muscles while you're using the ab coaster. So those are some basic tips on properly using your ab coaster, some common mistakes to avoid to keep you on the fast track to great abs.